Hey everyone, it is December 1st, and I am just Friday night, just catching up on chores, more or less. Yeah, not much. Snow hasn't really hit us yet, so I haven't really done too much. I guess it's just the season. When it starts getting colder, you seem to do more and get prepped more, but here you kind of can get side blinded because it's too warm and you don't think about stuff. But I put a bale in yesterday for them because they decided they were starving. Lo and behold, they decided grazing was the thing to do today. But that's part of the fun. And I'm just filling waters here. My wicked sweet colors, as you can tell. If anybody didn't know, I always use old jackets and old frickin' clothes when it comes to doing chores or barns or anything like that, because you're gonna screw them up anyways. The idea of spending hundreds of dollars on work clothes just makes me laugh inside. So that's what it is. I understand durabilities of something like Carhartts and stuff, but other than that, it's just you're gonna break it and destroy it. But I'm just in front of the Landini here, and I'll show you guys. So for any of you guys that didn't know, this is my major loader tractor. This is what I use kind of for everything. This is where the hydraulic fluid goes in, and there's a bleeder on, or an air bleed on the top. But sometimes it doesn't really like to work properly. I don't know if it's in the cap or what. But what happens is there's a line in here that comes back from what I think is the loader. What happens is if you do loader work too much, like 8-10 hours a day, that line will pop off on you one day and you'll hear a really bad noise. And that's what it is. It's just air backed up in there. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this is dried up and doesn't allow moisture through or air through to get it out of the transmission. That is kind of like a safety thing, but it's just annoying because you get a hydraulic fluid everywhere where you didn't want it. What else can I tell you guys? I got this up. This is what it kind of turns out to be. I'll walk away from here a bit, show you guys. So that's a heavier gate. That's a decent weight gate, and I just put it behind T-bars. And then I put this one on pins, and lo and behold, you get closer to this, you'll see that this isn't straight. And my issue is because this isn't straight, there's too much of an angle and the thing isn't long enough. Maybe I'll have to use another pin. I have another one. I don't know if it's any longer. I have family members that are in the fencing industry, so what they used to do is they used to help us out, and they used to more or less get us old posts, and they basically put them in for us, and we really appreciated it. We haven't done it in years, and I was kind of thinking this had an old post on it, so this might come off if I actually work on it and get it off. It is on there. Maybe that'll affect that gate. Crap, it will. No luck. Anyways, so it at least swings now. I have a strap, like a ratchet strap on the top of it. I think I'll get some wire and just wire it up and make it work. And then that way, that gate works, because being able to open and shut your main gate really helps. It's especially a lot easier on people that are not used to your barnyard or used to your cattle or any of that. It makes it a lot easier to sort. So when you're sorting, it isn't as big a deal. Yeah, so if the thing works. It used to be just wired down, and I hated it because if you got to close something quickly, you're running in mud and slop. Imagine it going 5 times slower than you want it to go in your head, and it can be depressing and frustrating when you can't close it fast enough and they get by and they push their way through. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't know if I'll be able to do the U system like I anticipated for this barn, only because it's a lot of moving around of stuff, which I don't really want to do too much. And I think it'll work, but there's some doubts on whether it will from certain people. So eventually, actually, I'll show you guys this gate too. Eventually what I'd like to do is make it so that this gate right here and this gate right here open, and what it would be is there is one type of gate where it's got these little sliders that go in, and it only allows calves through, and then you have the bigger gate that would allow the moms through. I saw a sorting system where they had it, and you just basically move the little piece so that it allows just the calves through, and the calves think they're outsmarting you, so they go through the low section. Same way the feeder systems or the creep feeders work, and it separates it in a low stress situation. The only thing that can be that can kind of knock it a little bit is for us sometimes we'll call all our old cows that we want to get rid of. We'll call that time, so you just got to be able to stop them. But other than that, it seems to work well. I want to get rid of this trough here to make that work, but that won't be a this year's project. But slowly but surely making progress. I got to take this crap out. I didn't get it all done. That calf kind of surprised me, and that's where I basically stopped. So I want to do another run here where I basically clean this last bit off, and then this section right here up too, so that that water trough can be drank from, and it makes it a little easier for them, and that's what it is. This year I'm hoping to get a few more calves. They wouldn't be technically calves, they'd be bred heifers that'll be coming to the farm. They're purebred again. They are Pinzgauer again, so they should be coming, I believe, late December is what they're talking. So that's my plan. That's what we're looking at here. Just putting pieces together. I know when I watch these things sometimes and I look at myself, I was just putting that in the shot for you guys there. One heifer just decided, or one cow decided she's going to join the feeder. But I know when I'm watching these things, or when you guys are watching these things, it seems like there isn't much going on, and you would be right, but nothing really happens fast on the farm. It's slow steps. Nothing, because if you're in farming very long, you know that fast steps cost money. Because what happens is if you just do something slow and you plan it, it can go really effective and really smoothly, and it'll almost seem like you didn't try. That is what you want. If you do something too fast and you don't know what you're doing and you rush into it, it can cost you a lot of money and a lot of time. A prime example for me personally is that case baler. When I was first getting into baling my own hay, because I knew we needed to do it, I got that case baler, and I did not know technically what I wanted, and I was researching as much as I could, but it almost becomes you have to learn to use what you like and what you don't. And we hadn't round baled ourselves ever, and so I was kind of learning, and I didn't know what I could get for what money, what was worth it and what wasn't, and what did a good job. And I learned probably within the first year that I didn't like that baler. It just wasn't for me, and there was better stuff on the market. I also learned very quickly that it was all to do with price at that time. It was very difficult for me because I needed to do it on a very cheap budget, and I didn't have a lot of money to spend on a baler. Everybody knows balers aren't cheap, and I know it's all great, grand, and super when everyone says, oh yeah, just go out and buy a John Deere, it's no big deal, then you can just get it done. Well, when you don't have that type of money, and you're not willing to go in debt, massively in debt for something that you're getting started, that isn't really an option. I know a lot of people for equipment think that way. Tractors the same way. Oh yeah, you can just go out and just go get payments. Well, if you don't have a steady income coming in, excuse me, payments don't matter because you can't afford them. You cannot afford to have payments because if you have a bad month, it doesn't work. Where payments make sense is if you are inheriting something where it is already bringing in money and you're just growing it. In which case, you know you have a steady income to bring in a certain amount of money that will be able to take the payments. That is where that works. For me, doing more of a cash job, I like having it so that I can buy things outright if I can. And that's the only way to do it for me, because that way I can build up my equipment, I can upgrade later, and then that way, if I want to upgrade later, I don't have huge restrictions. I just watched someone's video, come on, I can't even think here. A guy in England, he does dairy farming, and the dairy price went down. And the first thing I thought in my mind is, oh my gosh, if he has payments right now, price quota went down, he's in deep trouble, because now he has to try and figure a way to not only make his payments, straw. Not only make his payments, but provide for his family, and Christmas is around the corner. And that is not a fun feeling to have. I know I'm single, I know this doesn't really apply to me, but I also have to live too, so payments are just not my thing. So that's my little rant for the day, guys. That's basically what's going on, so thanks for watching. What else can I tell you? I'd like to expand next year, but for this year, this is pretty much it. I'm going to try and get it when I'm loading a little bit, just to show you guys kind of what happens and what goes on, and then that way this is pretty much the end of the year. You'll see stuff in the winter, but everything slows down in the winter. Nothing really happens in the winter. Nothing's really exciting. You're just more or less hoping that the water lines don't freeze and you don't have to calve in the snow. That's about it that happens for a beef farm for us anyway. So thanks for watching.